Hi, my name is Gary Urgonski. I've been doing art pretty much all of my life, but I decided about 17 years ago I really wanted to focus on sculpture. I really like getting my hands dirty. I like dealing with the weight and the found pieces that I work with. Sometimes I actually make some of the pieces and incorporate found pieces. This is Victory of the Spirit. It won Best in Show at the Cape Cod Art Association in Barnstable in 2011. My intention for this piece was to show the body at the time of death, and it's dedicated to my brother, Terry Urgonski, who died of cancer in 2002. Down here is rusty, and you can see the bones. It's falling apart. This is the bird at the bottom of the piece preparing to take flight, so life is leaving the body. These are two clam rakes. This is a piece from a wood stove. I've got the hoses, and a gauge reads 0. And as you go up the piece, you see that the clock says a little after 12, which is supposed to be symbolic. The wires are kind of coming undone. And this is the life force leaving the body at the moment of death. This is a piece of alabaster that I carved out to show that. These are also pieces of the life force leaving the body at the moment of death. I like to collect a lot of scrap things. Sometimes people give things to me, other times I just find them in the woods. This is an old Plymouth, I believe, Plymouth fender, tractor seat. These are actually from outboard motors. Yeah, with the pistons attached, of course. Don't try this at home, folks. I don't have my steel-toed boots on. Hood ornaments. This is a hood ornament from 1941 Cadillac. Haven't found an appropriate place for that yet. A neighbor gave this to me. It's very heavy, but I'm definitely going to use this for something. This is great. I love this. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. It was part of an old wood splitter, but it's going to be part of a sculpture. I don't know where or when or how, but I go to junkyards and you know, an old fan belt, stove parts. This is called 3 Cheers for the Red, White, and Blue. It's kind of a semi-sarcastic piece on our culture. This is a real prosthetic hand that when you turn the crank, the hand grabs for the money, which is on this side, which is why the red part is a bit of dollar green, and some blood splatters on the piece. This piece is also white, but not exactly white. I have a light in it, which turns on, and you can see the light coming out. This is a Studebaker gas cap. I made the pyramids out of steel, but the other pieces are found pieces. And the blue, I kind of get some amusement out of this. It says Sanitary Devices Manufacturing Company, and speaks to our Puritan heritage just a little bit. Over here is my workshop, my studio as I call it. This is called Odyssey from the Heartland. It is a piece of driftwood that I got in Maine, and the map is part Italy, part Cape Cod, and part Indiana, because I grew up in Indiana. So this looks like Lake Michigan, but it's actually Cape Cod, Indiana, and Italy. This kind of, for a lot of people, looks like a boat or sailing ship. To me it does also, but this also looks like kind of a rudder. So the whole piece has a movement forward, and that was really fun to work on. This is a very personal piece for me. It's called Electroshock, Me and My Dad, 1958. This won an Award of Merit at the South Shore Art Center in Cohasset, Mass. in 2014. I took a fuse box, a real fuse box, and I have a picture of my father with some burn marks on the picture, and a picture of my father and myself, and I wanted it to look like you could actually turn this on, like it was actually plugged in. Actually, one of my initial ideas was to maybe make it so you would actually get a little shock from it, but that probably wasn't a good idea. Good thing I didn't do that. But this actually speaks to my father and myself. In 1958, he actually tried to commit suicide by putting his hands inside a fuse box. And he later went to a mental hospital in Indiana where he got shock treatments. That's why it's called Electroshock. And inside, there's a letter from my mother to my father in the hospital about me and the anxiety that she didn't know why I was feeling. And underneath, there's a letter from my father describing the shock treatments. And when I had this piece at my show at the Katuitt Art Center several years ago, I put it next to light switches and the fire alarm and different things like that. I wanted it to look like, is this really an art piece, or is this something that you really shouldn't touch? And it's really kind of funny to watch people come up to it and say, gee, do I touch it? Do I not touch it? Am I going to get a shock? But again, this is a very personal piece to me. I don't know if anybody would ever buy it, but you know, you make art because you make art. You don't make art necessarily because, you know, it's something that somebody is going to hang on the wall. You make it because you just have to do it. Come on, over here. So I really enjoy doing art. I'm just going to be doing it the rest of my life. One of the things I would really like to do, I'd like to get into some galleries, maybe in Boston, maybe a gallery in Provincetown. But it's just doing the work itself. It's just really fun. It just makes me feel really good. And when I make something, if I do a good job at it, if it's something that I have a lot of emotion into it, it's just very, very fulfilling. I couldn't be happier doing this.